Hi guys. In case we haven't met, I'm CT Tamura, and maybe you could just tell me your names because I know.
My name's
Ileana, nice to meet you. And Declan, nice to meet you. CT. Rigel, nice to meet you. Yeah, Rick, we've met before. Yeah, great. I know you guys. So John just did instruction, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead us in a relatively short meditation, maybe about 20 to 25 minute kind of meditation. And unless, I mean, you did, right? Because you did instruction and then basic. So, and I'm just going to guide us a little bit as well. But then the second half of it will all be just kind of sitting and practicing on your own. Okay? And you may or may not have done I like to always start out with a little bit of checking with the body, what we call a body scan. And so if you want to find your position, your posture with a straight back, as best you can.
Can you go over how you meditate in a chair? Because I haven't done that. Like, I've done that once or twice before.
Sure, yes. This is a good...
Maybe go over the basics of that as well as this.
Yeah, sure. So, so if you're sitting in a chair like I am, ideally you want your feet flat on the floor. And also the important thing, and this is true whether you're sitting on a cushion or whether you're sitting in a chair, is you want the knees slightly below your hips, at or below the level of your hips. This seems to be pretty well positioned for me. As you can see, my knees are slightly below. If your knees are not, then you can put a cushion underneath and just get your butt up a little bit. And right, and if your feet aren't flat on the floor, you can put a cushion or something underneath it. Everybody looks pretty good here. Okay, now if you need to use the back of your chair, you can. If you can actually sit straight using your sit up straight, that's actually a little bit better, just for a kind of an awaken and alertness that we're going for. I like to sort of just let people hang. You just kind of hang your arms at your sides, and then just lift them at the elbows and put them on your thighs. And that's pretty much it for seated posture. Yeah. And then if you're cross-legged, it's really the same stuff from the waist up. The only difference is what you're crossing your legs. So to start with the body scan, let's close our eyes. Usually we're going to end up opening them a little bit later, but we're going to start with our eyes closed. And we're just going to start at the top of our head, and we're going to work our way down our body. And as we place our attention on each part of our body, we're going to relax that part of the body. You're going to search for any place where you're holding tension, and then you're just going to let that tension go. You're going to relax into it. So starting at the top of your head, probably don't place a lot of attention on the crown of your head or the top of your head very often, but now's a good time to do it. And then see if there's any sense of openness or relaxation you can find at the top of your head. And move your attention down into your forehead. Check in with your brows. Have your brows been furrowed today? Because if they have been, you may notice the feeling of furrowed brows, and see if you can relax your brows a little bit. And then keep moving your attention down into your temples, maybe out into your eyes and your eye sockets. Is there any sense of relaxation that you can find with your eyes and your eye sockets? And you may be distracted or notice other sounds, people walking or bells buzzing, and all that is totally okay. If you find yourself being distracted by something, just bring your attention back to your body. And in this case, let's keep moving down our heads, out into the cheeks, and in the jaw, and the nose, and the mouth. What's your tongue doing? Is it cleaved to the roof of your mouth? If it is, just let it go, let it hang. Your teeth can be together or open. It doesn't matter. Your lips too can be open or together. The important thing here is noticing where you're clenching or where you're tight and just letting it go and relaxing it. And while we're here at the mouth and the nose, let's just notice the feeling of the breath coming in through the nose or through the mouth and down into the throat. And you're not trying to do anything to the breath. You're just noticing the way it feels as it enters through your nose and down into your throat. And while you're paying attention to the feeling of your throat, see if you can relax and open that a little bit. And then naturally may lead you a little bit to the back of your neck. I don't know about you guys, but I've had some neck issues. And so it's really nice to have a well-balanced head and a straight back and relax the neck down into the shoulders. And while we check in with the shoulders, maybe check in with your posture overall. Maybe you can bring your shoulders back ever so slightly and let them drop down. And as you move those shoulders back, you may feel an opening and lifting of the chest. And this should feel pretty good because what we're doing is we're sort of giving ourselves a little more space in the chest for the organs to do their things. A little more space for breath and for the heart to beat. And as we're in our chest, let's notice any sense of tension or tightness there and see if you can relax it and open it up. And while along with that, notice the feeling of the breath down in the chest, moving down all the way to the belly. Again, the purpose here is not to change it. You're just noticing the feeling of the breath in your body. As you're down in your diaphragm and your belly, check in with your sides. I tend to find that I keep a lot of tension in my belly. And if I just focus a little bit, if I notice that tension, I can let it go. And as I let it go, there's a sense of settling into the posture. It's almost like I add weight to my seat as I relax. And then keep moving your attention down into your guts and your groin and your butt, the sits bones, which are the bones you're sitting on. See if there's any sense of opening or relaxation you can find there. Moving out into the hips and the thighs. Maybe connecting there with the hands for a moment. Do you notice the feeling of your hands resting on your thighs, the warmth that's created there, pressure? Make sure your hands are relaxed, resting on your thighs. And then down into your knees, your calves. Is there any tension there? Shins, all the way down into the ankles. Pay a little attention to your feet here. Notice every part of your feet. Sometimes I find it's helpful to give a little wiggle to my toes just to check in with them, see how they're doing. We don't really place our attention on the arches of our feet or the balls of our feet or our toes unless they're bothering us. Now's an opportunity to do that. You're just noticing the feeling and any sense of tension and letting it go. And now maybe just check back in with your posture as a whole. Has it changed? Have you slumped at all? And if you have, you can just write it. And then slowly open your eyes, gently, looking downward. Keeping your gaze about 4 to 6 feet on the floor in front of you. And then what we're doing here is the basic practice. placing a light attention on our breath, and we're resting the rest of our attention in the space around us. Maybe 25% of our attention on the breath and 75% of our attention on our awareness of the space. And I say a light attention on the breath because really what we're doing is we're relaxing into the present. The more relaxed we are, the more our awareness opens. If we stay too laser beam focused on something like the breath, then we miss out on the rest of our senses. We miss out on our experience of the rest of the world around us. So here we're trying to be aware of the breath and aware of the space around us. And also we're trying to be aware of what's going on in our minds and our bodies. And we're noticing when we start having conversations with ourselves in our head. And if we notice that we're drifting off, thinking about something, having a conversation, we just let that go and bring our attention back to the breath and back to the present. So let's do that for a few minutes. If your mind has started to chatter, you're spinning stories in your head, that's okay. Just let it go and bring your attention back to the breath and back to the present. This is the act of meditation. The act of meditation is not so much the sitting and trying to not think or anything like that. The act of meditation is noticing when you're not present, letting go of whatever story is taking a hold of your mind and bringing your attention back and doing that over and over again. Again, if your mind has wandered off, you're thinking about something you got to do later or something that happened before, just notice it, let it go, and bring your attention back to the present. I like to compare it to repetitions that we do at the gym to strengthen our bodies. And this way we're strengthening our ability to be present every time we do a mental repetition by bringing our attention back. And it's an all-inclusive meditation, an all-inclusive awareness. So it includes the sound of my voice. It includes being aware of your thoughts, your body, sound, sight, smell, taste, touch. Okay, as you want, you can relax your posture and bring your attention back to maybe the other folks in the room. Maybe make eye contact.